Good morning, Southern California, AM-1220, KHTS. There's your host, Fred Arnold, on the Santa Clarita Valley Chamber of Commerce Business Spotlight. I'm joined by Carl Goldman. Carl Goldman's one of the owners of KHTS, AM-1220. But Carl, you're also very instrumental in two events that we're going to do here in the Santa Clarita Valley that we want to talk about. Both of them are, I don't want to say lobbying, but advocacy on the behalf of businesses and citizens of the Santa Clarita Valley, both in Sacramento and D.C. So let's talk about the Sacramento trip. It's called, what's the official name this year?
It's the KHTS Sacramento Road Trip, and we do it in cooperation with the Chamber. We have a lot of corporate sponsors also attached to it, and it's become a powerful event. This will be year number 8 already, hard to believe. But it started when at that time, our Assemblyman Keith Richmond had this concept of having community leaders get up to Sacramento and really see the inner workings of it. So we did, that year we did trip number 1. We did 6 trips while Cameron Smythe was our Assemblyman, and now we have our new Assemblyman, Scott Wilk, and we're getting ready to go up March 18th and 19th.
So it's Monday, March 18th and 19th, and what are some of the topics we're going to, it went from us being educated more about Sacramento to us now going and advocating on behalf of citizens and business.
Right. And
some of the subjects we're going to talk about.
Well, it's about, just to backtrack for 1 second, it's really both. We're advocating and also we're learning. We have 85 community leaders going up this time. It's a mix of Santa Clarita, so we have educators, we have board members, we have people from the water agency, lots of business people. The Chamber, of course, very much represented you as the head of the Chamber this year. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
We'll be going up. Our mayor will be there. Anyway, this year we have a number of big issues. With business, right now the number one issue is the enterprise zone. And our governor is deciding to make some adjustments to what that looks like, and some of those issues we agree with and some we don't. The power of this is it's not just business leaders going up and advocating for an issue, just as we're going to be tackling a couple issues for College of the Canyons this year. So now it's not just the board members of COC and the Chancellor Diane Van Hook advocating on behalf of COC. It's the mayor, city council member, it's superintendents from the elementary schools, it's the head of the chamber, the owner of the radio station, and that leaves an impact that's very, very different than what our politicians are usually used to.
One of the most important things is when we go up as a group like we do, and we're advocating on behalf of our citizens and our businesses, it makes a big impact when they see a busload of people come out that are very concerned about these issues. 1, because we're hiring individuals. 2, because we pay taxes. And 3, because we vote.
Right.
And we're, so that's really impactful, isn't it?
It's very impactful, and the feedback we always get is no other community does it. In fact, they go, and when Cameron was our Assemblyman, his peers would go up and say, how did you do that? How do you get your community leaders to all come up? And the beauty is, people like you and like me, we're not advocating for anything that necessarily is attached to us. We're there for the betterment of the valley. We're taking the top issues from the valley, focusing on those, the ones that where we have a real say on a state level, and we advocate for that.
You know, and if those that are listening or watching this online, there's a lot of issues out there concerning the statewide level. There's the enterprise zone. There's just taxes. There's water.
High-speed rail is a giant issue. Chloride's an issue. The peripheral canal is an issue for us. Filming tax credits we did last year. We'll do that again this year.
Transportation.
The high-speed rail is the big issue. We've been up many, many years. We were there working for the Cross Valley Connector, which of course is here now, and then the lanes that you're seeing being built on the 5 freeway. Every year we're up there advocating for that. Another big issue at the moment is funding for our mental health facilities. So we have a number of our nonprofits, Child and Family Center, the Senior Center, Domestic Violence Action, our Veterans Project, all going up and talking about some of the things that we need to have happen for our mental health
And
patients.
let's make it crystal clear, some of these monies are going to other communities, so how do we get the monies to come to our communities to help our citizens, or at least get our fair share, whatever that is. So it's important that you understand it. Let's talk about
DC.
Washington, D.C.,
Right.
because Sacramento, I think, is sold out.
Sacramento, we have a wait list on, and that's been going, and we love it. And we try, with Sacramento, even though we have a wait list, we try and bring a lot of people who've never been there before, so it becomes part of the education. So about a third of the group going this year have not been on our trip. They're new folks. DC, this will be year number 2. We're tying it in, of course, with our Congressman, Buck McKeon. And same concept where we take issues now we're taking issues that impact our valley where we can make a difference on the federal side. Some of that is on the legislative side, and some of it is for grants and funding. Last year we went with Jim Ventris, who heads up the Boys and Girls Club, and also we had representatives from College of the Canyons, and we sat down at the Department of Justice and looked at some funding for some pilot programs that we could be doing for both those organizations.
You know, it's interesting. They did a survey, and the number one concern was statewide issues. This number 2 concern was federal issues. They weren't so concerned about what we were doing here locally, because what we were doing here locally was relatively very responsible. And so that was interesting as a survey that we saw. So those that want to participate in D.C., I know I'm going to both.
Right.
How can they get involved?
They can get a hold of us here at the station at 298-1220. They can also, we have, the cool thing is on our website at hometownstation.com, we've documented all the trips. You can go back and see who went on all the Sacramento trips, DC trip. You can see the issues. We have them all laid out that we tackled, who we got in front of. Last year up in Sacramento, we had our governor, Jerry Brown, speak to us at dinner. This year we have our controller, John Chang. We're talking about money. Key issue there.
And we need
the
to
budget.
And one thing I'll mention, Carl, when you drive up on the bus or you fly out, the most important thing about these trips is you get to network and find out who's doing what, and learning off each other. There are a lot of business people, a lot of those that work for the school district, those that work for COC, those that try to help make things happen in this valley. So if you're a business person not sure and you want to get involved, what a great opportunity.
Oh, tremendous opportunity. We've had so many programs, so many different types of events that have come out of this. It's really threaded together nicely. DC is May 20th, 21st, 22nd.
And they changed that so it wouldn't be on my son's birthday, so I can go this year.
That's right. So we got that. And by the way, last year we had John McCain come to dinner.
I know. I wanted to go, but it happened to be on my son's birthday, and he's only got one left. But yeah, John McCain was great.
Yeah.
You never know what we're going to get, but one thing you will, with quality class individuals from the Santa Clarita Valley dealing with everyday issues that affect your life and your business. So, Carl, thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Those that want to be involved. And it's not too late to get yourself on the waiting list for Sacramento, but certainly get involved in D.C. also. You've been listening to this Chamber Spotlight on AM 1220 KHTS.